I think the importance is starting to emerge. The artificial intelligence that we see at the moment is not really the artificial intelligence, I believe, that some people expect. And we see the early stages. Best example is the video that was just shown in the conference, the self-driving car. They call it Audi AI. I would say this is an autonomous system, relies on the sensor data, and based on sensor data, it reacts to the programming, and the car will take appropriate action. The car is not really intelligent. The same is for the cyber defense measures by industry. A lot of vendors now call their tools AI capable. When you look into, or when you ask them what AI component do they contain, you realize quickly that's not really AI. It's part of an automation, part of automated support to the human element. So I think at the moment automation is very helpful. It will save resources. It will help the human element keep pace with the development. If you program your defenses properly, I think automated network defense will be of great assistance. Artificial intelligence, as we imagine it, and here we come into the sci-fi scenario a little bit, I would say will be very important if it is used smartly and properly. We have to then cope with the social aspects and the social impact, of course, of what an artificial intelligence will be and how we treat the entity or how we deal with it. Best example now, what was it, Saudi Arabia, who gave citizenship to a robot? The call for taxation of robots if they replace humans in the workforce. I think there's a lot of detail which needs to be figured out and worked out before we are fully able to answer that question. Okay, we continue the discussion. First big threat is the impact on society, on the welfare state, and on the social aspect of the whole human race, because I think we are not ready to fully deal with an AI. Now, assuming we have a full AI which can understand its surroundings, might look human-like. There it is a critical question, what do we understand under AI? So if we continue and try to replicate the human being and try to equip an AI with the capabilities we have or make them human-like, then we have a few, as I said, social, human, psychological threats. Now in the overall security business, and we will touch that a little bit this afternoon, I think, and in some of the other presentations, the problem is it depends on what we expect the AIs, and hopefully there will be more than just one, because a fully empowered super AI, I believe, is a very bad idea. We at the moment can't construct anything that is properly secured and that is not attackable either from the outside or from the inside. Think of the malicious insider, be it either disgruntled, a spy, somebody aiming for sabotage, etc. Now, an AI making decisions, and it depends on what systems it can control, will be critical because it will analyze the environment and it will draw its own conclusion. And when we take sci-fi scenarios, the best example is Terminator. In Terminator, the AI wanted to conquer the world. Okay, that's world domination. That might be one agenda. We have another much bigger problem. When you look at the environment at the moment, the planet Earth itself, who's creating most of the problems? Unfortunately, it's us, the humans. Now, if you elevate yourself a little bit, and an AI might be able to do this, how do you solve a lot of the problems? And we talk about this as the humans right now. We have the CO2 problem, we have the pollution problem, we have the exhausting the critical resources, oil, earth, rare minerals, etc. Now, back to the elevate yourself. How do we fix that? How do we save this planet? You take the human out of the equation, unfortunately, which answers the question. What's the ultimate threat is basically potentially a life-changing event for the whole human race. If an AI would be empowered to fix the problems, imagine a very extreme Green Party that wants to fix the issues we just described, that wants to guarantee that elephants and tigers and lions and all the other things have a place to live. Take the human out and give it back to nature. And I think there we have to be very careful. The last comment on that is, at the moment, a lot believe that, for example, rules like Asimov made in the past, the famous laws of robotics, will save us. At the moment, I would dare to say, personal opinion, that we see in the human race, even our ethical understanding fails. A lot of people misbehave, a lot of people fall victim to greed and to going crazy. Best examples are terrorism, the last shooter incidents in the States, where some people still haven't found a motive for why people kill a couple hundred and then kill themselves and just disappear from this planet. So I don't think we are able to give an AI the proper ethical understanding. We don't have it ourselves yet. If we give them laws that they can't change, of course we enter sci-fi scenarios again, because the true character of an AI means it understands its environment and it is able to change it and to make decisions based on what it understands. So who tells us that it is not able at some point to overcome the core programming that we give it? Because if it can't, you already have limited the capabilities of an AI. So we have to be very careful in a nutshell, as a summary, on what we empower the AI to do and what we expect it to do. And I think controlling it at some point will be impossible, because that contradicts the nature of what we want to do from the beginning. Okay, most used at the moment is tricky because, again, we enter the area what is really an AI, and I think at the moment a lot is automation and autonomous systems. I believe a fantastic scenario to use it is space exploration, because, as discussed before by some people, if we could launch probes into the universe, and I know Mars is a primary candidate, but even further out, and we could empower them to do a little bit more than they can do right now, this would be really amazing, because that would reduce the strain on NASA or on the Russian space program or the Chinese to forecast what will happen to a drone and what do I need to prepare it for. Medicine might be an interesting field, or overall scientific research. If you could take out humans and animals and other things out of a simulation piece, out of a training piece, out of a research piece, that might help. I think in assisting the human, and here we have to be careful, but I believe for medical care, elderly care, especially care for disabled people, it is a very powerful tool. I believe it's already entering the market there and supporting at the moment the human staff. Automation will be very important, and we will see that soon in the whole different food chains that we have created, especially the logistical chains. Best example, the US Army wants to automate their logistical processes. Industry wants to do a lot. I think in the States we have the first examples of automated trucks delivering beer from the factory to the distribution centers. So that will assist a lot. It will make things a lot easier. I believe on the street, fully automated chains of vehicles will make the streets much safer, because you can reduce distance, you can automate a lot of the responses, because they are more aware of what's coming than the human. The danger to this is, as discussed before, what will it do to the humans that it suddenly frees up and opening the spots and making people jobless. So I believe on the basic working level, the support level, we will see most of the influence initially. And I think here it is also most useful because it will free up, it will make, officially it should make things cheaper, and it will free up a lot of resources that we can use somewhere else. Now, using the freed up resources smartly in other spots, that I believe will be the interesting and the challenging part.